everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome to a new playthrough on the channel. After we terraformed Mars last week, we're going to stick to the space theme for the month. Our last space game for the month will be a game we played back in May. Link to that playthrough will be in the description down below. Today we're going to play Xayah, Legends of a Drift System from Far Off Games. In this game, our goal is to become the most famous pilot in the galaxy through combat, trade, or exploration. As I mentioned, I played this game back in May, and I normally wouldn't come back to a game this quickly, short of something like, say, the Hero Realms background campaign. The reasons I'm making an exception in this case are twofold. First, it fits in rather nicely with the space theme that we've had for the month. I also really enjoy this game, but that's not the other reason I'm coming back to it so quickly. I'm coming back to it as a test recording of sorts. And I know what you're thinking. Phoenix Knight, you recorded this game in May. Why do you need to run another test recording on this one? The reason I'm coming back to this game as a test recording is I was in my old apartment back in May, and if you remember that playthrough, I was having some space problems toward the end. As part of the move earlier this month, I got 2 more folding conference tables that I can stand up together lengthwise, which I currently use that setup for my group game space. But I wanted to try it on a video to see how differently videos would work with the 2 folding conference tables together. Because this is also not the only game I could use that much space with, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So, I'm also thinking of maybe stepping into this as a background campaign, but I don't think it's going to be much of a campaign. I'll talk about that later, though. And if I'm thinking of that, I'd like to solve as many of the logistics problems as I possibly can now before I run with that idea further. Anyway, slight rambling aside, let's start working our way to the board, and we'll stop off first with my ship for today. Today we're playing with the Swamp Rat. You can see I've got the 8 energy marker set up, the 4 armed markers, and then we've got a 2x6 layout on the ship. I've got 6,000 credits to play with. And then that will be that's the mini that we're going to be represented by. So we'll get that set up there. We've got a little bit of story on the back of the ship. Backstory. You traded your land speeder and a couple seasons passes to Kerbangos for a chance to see the verse. Freedom comes in all shapes and sizes. Unfortunately for you, Freedom looks like a pre-loved anaconda. She was formerly owned by a brush pilot who took his clients to backwater planets, like yours, to hunt the local fauna. While her hull has borne the brunt of the damage, the core seems to be in fine repair. As you journey forth, you hope that fortune will smile on you, and you'll be able to ditch this piece of humcar poop for something a bit more not embarrassing. So we'll get that all set back up. Armed marker, 8 energy, and there's the impulse marker. Okay. So we've got all that straight. Anyway, we've got the 6,000 credits to start with because we're playing on easy mode. We'll go ahead and set up the mods in a minute, but before we do that, we'll take a look at our special ability for this ship. The VRX heatsink. Enable component overclocking. Swamp Rat. Each damage on your outfits gives +1 instead of -1 when used, not to exceed the outfit maximum. Damage on a used space still makes it unusable, and damage on mods still disables them. Calculate any bonus on activation. And as an action, I can deal 1 unblockable damage to my ship. Then for 6,000 credits, as you might recall, I'll bring the mods in the shot and adjust up. Actually, we'll move the ability off for the time being. So there are the mods, and once again, this didn't come with the game. I actually got this from a shop called the 3D Print Wizard on Etsy. Link to their shop will be in the description down below. But anyway, so for 6,000 credits, I definitely want to make sure I've got a good engine, so I'm going to spend 3,000 credits to get the Raptor K engine. I'll put that down here. And then for another 2,000 credits, which will be this chip, I'll buy the Iris J7 missile. So I can activate that in combat and use a D12 to attack, and I can put that right there. So that's how we'll Tetris everything in for the time being. We have 1,000 credits to shield with, which I don't want to spend all that right away because I want to make sure I've got something that I can spend if I need to buy cargo or anything like that. But anyway, that's what I'm going to use for. That's what I'm going to start with for today. So let's move over and we'll go to the NPCs next. I've also got the comets off shot over here, which we'll need those later, I'm sure. But anyway, these are our NPCs. So we have the merchant. The only spawned a note is place the merchant on the second planet in the trade route to be discovered. Now, in the solo game, you actually get different behavior. You actually have different possibilities of behavior for each of the NPCs. So I'm not going to worry about these cards for the most part, unless something makes me reference them. And then there's the merchant mini. Then we'll take a look at the enforcer. When Kemplar 2 is discovered, we place the enforcer on that planet. This is what the enforcer looks like. Then we have the scoundrel, a vile outlaw that attacks and flees. When Loath is discovered, we place the scoundrel there. And there's the scoundrel mini. The merchant's flavor text, cargo hauler, flies trade route. Enforcer patrols, hunts outlaws. Then we have one of the expansion ships, actually. The Sellsword Mark II, your friend for the right price. When Smuggler's Den is discovered, place the sellsword on it. And then there's the sellsword mini. And here's what the comets look like. Those will come out with ice asteroids and stuff and things like that. But anyway, that will do it for the NPCs. We'll take a look at, and then we'll go next to the fame and economy boards. You can see the tile stack slightly in shot here, along with the mission cards, but that's not what we're focusing on. So, rules as written here, we would play it all the way down to 20 fame. But when I played this game back in May, and we measure our paths to victory in fame points, and rules as written, we'd play to 20 fame. When I played this game back in May, though, I played to 10 fame, and that still ended up being a fairly long video. Part of that was because that first video was still somewhat clunky from still learning the game. And I've gotten this game to the table a few times since then, and I have a better feeling for the rules. I'm still not perfect, of course, but hopefully I won't have to stop and check the rules as often. I still might have to, so bear with me on that. But anyway, I still think 10 fame is a good target for this game. It'll give us enough of the experience of the game without giving me a fit on the proverbial cutting room floor. I'll say that in English one of these days. Anyway, that musing aside, now let's go start with our starting known space. I am seeing one problem on this side of the camera. There's actually a little bit more of a table gap than I was expecting. Maybe as we start weighing these tiles down a little bit more, it'll be a little better, but still. I was thinking I might need like something for, like a gap filler or something, which I still might. Maybe a mat will take care of that, but I'm still playing around with the logistics of the tables and all that. But anyway, so looking at our starting space, Nier was instructed to come out as part of setup, which also brought the kiln out with it as on the rules. So we'll take a look there. So the kiln is a hub of trade and commerce. Place it on Nier when it's discovered, except it starts out in the game, at least in the solo game. You may enter or exit from any adjacent space. Orbit on dock, roll a d6. Move the station on the path. And these are the paths of the spaces on the kiln. We can sell Ember for 2,000 credits per, and then we get a mission card when we dock in this space. Anyway. Then we've got the Pelmont field. We are going to have asteroid fields to worry about in there. I'll explain more about how those work. Those are debris fields, actually. I'll explain more about how those work when we move into them. We've got an Explore token up there, a mission space here. I'll explain how that works if we interact with it. Then we've got the aforementioned asteroid fields, which we'll probably be running into pretty quickly. Smuggler's Den, which will actually bring the sellsword out right away. And yeah, weighing that down is actually a little bit of a help, but I can still kind of, most of the way, I can fit my pinky down under there, so that table gap might still be a bit of a problem. I don't know if it's the tablecloths or what, but like I said, I'm still playing around with the logistics of everything, so again, bear with me on that. Anyway, we got all the spawn points we needed. So, then we've got Red Gulch down here, which I mentioned is another asteroid field. So I can spawn at any spawn point of my choice when I'm setting up the game, right? Yes, on a spawn point of my choice. I'm going to start down here in Red Gulch. And we're going to briefly move back over to that's everything set up, but I want to briefly move back over to the Fame Point board to make something a little bit more clear. Glad I came back here for a second because I actually forgot to talk about the economy board. So this is the starting cargo that we can buy in the game. Anyway, we start off with 4 Terra, which are the green cubes. Then that's 5 Hollow. The H is hidden there, but you might be able to see it. 2 Spice, 1 Plasma, and 1 Cyber. So I think I might have shown it in passing, but the Smuggler's Den actually has where you can buy any 2 of those for 1,000 credits, and I might end up doing that, but getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So as we move along the Fame Point track, we'll hit various milestones and get cards that come out. So anything that's highlighted in pink will bring an event out, Anything in yellow will bring a title out. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself with that there. Now I think that's everything to set up. So now we'll move back down to the board, and we'll start with my first turn. For my first action, I think I might have glossed over this, but with each of the mods I bought, I can actually use those to arm for an action. Roll the corresponding die and move that many spaces, or do damage depending on what I'm using it for. So for my first action, I'm actually going to arm one of the arm markers on my engine. I'll be rolling a d12 for it, and because I haven't taken any damage yet, this is just a straight roll. So I find out I'm moving. I have 2 spaces to move, which is actually just perfect because I want to start with this exploration token right here. So 1, 2. Now I am moving into an asteroid field, which is what the orange marker is there. So the way you have to deal with that is now I have to roll a d20. If I roll a 1 to 10 on that, I take that much damage. I have to put that much damage on my ship. 11 through 20, I pass through unharmed, and a natural 20 actually gives me a victory point, but I can only get that once per round. So let's see what I roll here. It's a 15, so I don't get a victory point, but I at least pass through unharmed. So that'll give me this exploration marker, and I will find +5 movement. Nice. And I can also cash in 2 of those 2 exploration tokens for a victory point. So now I'm going to move out of the asteroid field. I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. Actually, I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. I'm going to make a blind jump, accepting the consequences, and I'm going to match the T symbol right there. So go 1, 2, 3, and matching the T. So here I find Loath, which is, this is going to be a big problem. So not only is that, so I'm going to have to pass through try to pass through the Planetary Shield, which I got to refresh my memory on how this works. That'll also bring out the Scoundrel, but more on that in a minute, but we'll come back to that. So let's see, cross the Planetary Shield. Okay, right, so yeah, I got to roll for the Planetary Shield. That's another d20. If I roll a 1 to 10, I take damage equal to the roll, I don't cross it, and I lose the movement point. If I roll an 11 to a 17, I clear the shield, but I gain 1,000 credit bounty. If I roll an 18 to 20, I pass through unharmed. So I'll finish setting up Planet in a minute. But we gotta roll to see if I get through the shield. I'll bring the dice tower back in shot. That's a 4, so I actually take 4 points of damage. The only good thing about that is I don't get the movement point, but I might actually put at least one of these damage on my engine. So anyway, I've got 4 points of damage there that I've got to put on the ship. I am going to put 1 on the engine because remember my special ability, each damage on my outfits gives +1 instead of -1 when I use it. I'll put a damage on the missile as well, and I'll put 2 of the empty spaces on my hold. But anyway, that does bring out the Scoundrel, which I'll put that on Loath. We get an exploration token for that. Bring that one out, put that on Loath. Okay, now we got to figure out the Scoundrel's behavior. So in the solo mode, we actually have 2 cards for that, so I'll give those a quick little lightning quick shuffle. And then I'll put them down here. I'll grab a D6 for this. I still have 2 more movement left after this. So odds evens will use this card. We'll use these cards. Six, which will give me this card. And then this card is actually double-sided, so we see two different behaviors on there. So odds evens once again. Odds, so we use the top side of that. Take a quick look. The usual suspect. Almost the usual scoundrel. Target, player if innocent. Behavior, this is the way it'll act. Move to the target. If in range, attack, then move to Loath. If not, move to the target again. So it's going to be coming after me from the looks of it. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. And the scoundrel, we have actually NPC stats that we use for this playthrough. So the scoundrel attacks, the scoundrel moves 6 spaces and attacks with a D12 blaster, defends with a D6 shield, and I need 10 damage to kill it. So that could be a bit of a problem, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. Anyway, to more move, I'm going to jump here, and I'm going to match the line this time. So this time I find the Delta's Gate. First player to use that gets a fame point. Use the gate gets a fame point, but we need to find the connecting gate. We'll have a mission card there. Then I was connecting lines, so that's an easy enough connection to make. And then for 1, with my last move, I'll move... Wow, I'm surrounded by asteroid fields, so I might as well move to the Delta's Gate. That will do there. Then for my next action, I'm going to arm the engine again, and this time my D12 roll is +1 because of the damage I put on the engine from trying to cross the shield. I'm going to have to move this back a little bit, I think, and tip the camera. Other way. There we go. Okay. And I think we still have the... Yep. So that's a 12 plus 1 is actually 13. So now I can make some serious distance and maybe get some good exploration done. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself there. Actually, I'm kind of not. I'll start with 1, 2, 3 and match the T again. So I'll have 9 movement left. So I'm going to make another jump out here. This time I find the grinder, and I'm going to have to put it this way. And I'm moving, oh boy, I'm moving right into the path of the comet, which is not good. So I think if the comet hits me, my ship automatically gets destroyed. Well, let me translate that. When the comet hits my ship, I automatically get destroyed. So yeah, immediately roll a d6. If the ship is instantly destroyed. So I'm going to end up moving into the path of the comet. And this is just a formality roll at this point. Because I'm definitely going toodaloo after this. The only question is, where is it ending up? So 3, which means 1, 2, 3. So I get destroyed. The NPCs actually get, I think they could just get a fame point instantly. But I do get to reset. I do get to reset my ship, though. Okay, no, actually they don't get the bonus because they weren't the ones destroying my ship, but I do get to reset my damage on that. So all the damage that I put on my ship comes off. And then at the end of the round, which we'll get to in a minute, actually at the end of the NPC turn. So my turn is just over from having my ship destroyed. Anyway, we'll do system expanse and we'll expand out. We have to expand at the space where the most tiles match. So I'll go here and I'll match the arrow. So there we find. Yeah. I had it in my hand and I dropped it. TK421, so it's another asteroid field. And I said we were matching the arrow, so we'll put that right there. And we need an exploration token for that. And by sheer coincidence, we are matching the circle there. I saw what that one was, so I'm going to pull again. Okay, that's one that I wasn't able to see, so we'll put that there. Alright, and now that the round is over and we've done system expanse, now the NPCs get to roll for victory points. Now, because I got destroyed, so they roll a d20, I didn't have any cubes on the map, so they roll a d20, add +2 for each cube removed in step 1, which they didn't, add 2 for each bounty, for each 1,000 NPCs collected this turn. Add 2 for each fame point they're behind. Add +X for certain merchant behavior. So actually this isn't plus anything. But it's depending on it's a chart here. So we'll see what happens here. The NPCs, on a roll of a 19, that's a big problem because the NPCs just jumped right out with 2 fame and we get our first event. So our first event, right here, retethered. Tigris has been repaired. While this card is in play, Tigris Gate is now connected to the other gates and players may move freely between all of them. The special rules between Tigris Gate are ignored. If the Traveler title is unclaimed, discard it and draw a new title. This card does not leave play. So that's going to be joyous. But anyway, the NPCs just got off to a big jump on that. So now I roll and come back to the closest spawn point. So I roll a d20 for that, I believe. Death. Okay, yeah. So reset to full energy, yada yada yada. And then respawn. Roll a d20 and place, roll a d20 and place the ship on the closest unoccupied spawn point. Since there was no target for the NPCs to move to, I just skipped through the scoundrel's turn. But anyway, I will spawn. Closest to point 11. So far that is... Oh, there's actually 11 right on the board, right by Delta's gate. But anyway... So that's a very uneventful turn. Now we're into round 2, and And I just got unlucky with an NPC roll, so I need to pick up the pace. I actually had to tip the camera down a little bit to get to my ship. And I don't know if you guys have heard this rumor or not, but I hear getting blown out of space on your first turn is not the best thing in the world to have happen to you. But anyway, so now I'll arm my engine, rolling a d12 to go exploring again. Dice tower is still in shot. Two spaces. Wow, I cannot get good rolls either, but anyway. We'll move down here and we'll match the arrow once again. So we find Outpost 338, which is another asteroid field. Matching the arrow manages to not land me in said asteroid field, and I think this table gap is actually causing me more problems than I thought it would, so it's going to go roughly there. But anyway, I will end up there for my second move. We need an exploration token. Okay, we'll bring that to the board. And then this one actually gives me options inside the asteroid fields. So you might have seen it briefly, but there's a mining option on here when I'm inside the asteroid field, and that will stop movement. 1 to 10, I take that much damage on my ship. 11 to 20, I get to harvest a spice from the mine. And I wasn't in there, so I'll use my second action to arm again. There's a movement of 6, which will let me go... hopefully get this exploration token, which I can then trade in for a fame point. And then maybe do a little mining there. But anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I've got to get the d20, so I'll have 2 movement left after this. A 17, so I pass through unharmed. And I will get this exploration token, which I'll be trading in for a fame point immediately, so I find... I'll be trading 2 in for a fame point, so I find... another fame point, so I actually just... So from trading in the 2 exploration tokens, I actually just tie the game here, so that was a good break. Let's see. The question is, do I want to mine there, or do I want to try to move again? I think I'm going to try to mine, actually. So once again, I'll be rolling the d20. If I roll a 1 to 10, I take that much damage. If I roll a 1 to 10, I take that much damage on my ship. And 11 to 20 gives me a spice. That's not coming from the economy board. A 13, it might be hard to see in there, but there is a 13, so that will give me a spice, which I'll put in one of the empty spaces on my cargo hold. And then I'll arm the engine for one last time, and we'll keep moving. Once again, rolling the d20. Or the d12, I should say. 9 spaces. So I'll get the dice tower out of the way, because I'm going to keep exploring. I'm going to move here and match the T. So that'll be my first movement. But I find Neo Damascus. So matching the T. Fortunately, I won't have tried to cross a shield this time. I wonder if I can get in there and maybe sell that spice. So I still have 8 movement left. I should be able to get... Well, I might be cutting that a little bit close, but I also need an exploration token, which I might just go grab. I may forsake the... Actually, I'll have to look at this, but... Okay, there's a flat one coming out. Let's see, so I have 8 movement left right now. 1 to grab this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can pass through, but but I won't be short. And also, Neo Damascus does not bring out the Merchant yet, but we are close. I think I will grab the... I think I will go ahead and grab the exploration token here, so I find 1,000 credits. That's actually very welcome. Alright, so I have 7 movement left right now. The question is, do I try to get onto Neo Damascus, whether by passing through the shield or trying to orbit around at the risk of a... Well, taking a bounty wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, because that would get the scoundrel off my back. Because it's going to be looking for me if I'm innocent, but if I'm not innocent, then he just stays put. He doesn't do anything. So I think I am going to try to pass through the shield here. So I'm going to try to pass through the shield for my next movement point. And once again, I've got to roll at least an 11 to get through. And I wouldn't mind an 11 to 17, because that would give me a bounty and get the scoundrel off my case. That's a 17, so I do pass through, and I get a 1,000 credit bounty, which again takes the scoundrel off my case. And then I'm going to stop my action there. Actually, am I going to... No. I actually don't need to stop my action there. So I can move... Actually, either one would stop my action, though, so I'll have to keep an eye on that, but... Anyway, I will actually move 2 more, and then I'll forward my action there, spending 1,000 credits to buy, what is that, 2 plasma? I can only buy 1, though, so... That's rather unfortunate, but anyway. And now I've got a target where I could probably take that over to Loath. But anyway, that's it for my action phase. Yeah, that's it for my action phase. Now we go into the business phase, where I get to recharge my... Well, I was at full energy because I got blown out of space last turn. But I do get to rearm my... Okay, I didn't have any damage to repair. I don't have any outfits I want to buy right now. And I don't have enough credits to buy a fame for 1,000 points. So that's unfortunate there. But... Yeah, I don't think I have anything else I really want to do right now. I could use Impulse to get back and try to sell that spice, but I'd rather try to go to Loath because it looks like I can sell anything there. And if I sell at least two cubes in my cold, I would get a fame point for that. And Loath gives me a way to sell multiple cubes, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So I think I'm just going to end my turn there. I'll get to rearm... I think I get to rearm for free on a planet. I could be wrong about that, but that's probably going to be in the business phase. Recharge energy. I think it still costs energy to rearm, but getting a little bit ahead of myself on that. Because again, I didn't have anything I needed to... I'm still not finding anything about that. Let's see here. Damage, respawn, movement, engines. Right. Markers. Arm markers. During the status phase, players may spend energy to rearm up to the maximum of 4. Okay, so it looks like it does cost me regardless. So I will spend 3 energy to rearm my arm markers. Sorry for the delay again. This, like I said, this is going to be a little bit of a clunky video still, but I'm trying. Anyway, that will do it for my turn. Now let's go into NPC turn. Actually, we're going to skip through NPC turns because I'm not near the Smuggler's Den to use the Sellsword 2, and I just picked up a bounty from the Sellsword. Or not from the Sellsword, I just picked up a bounty from passing through Neo Damascus's shield, so the scout... Actually, I take that back. System expanse happens first. So I will be expanding here, since this is the one that matches the most tiles, and I'm going to match the square. So I find Kemplar 2, which actually brings out... Yes, that actually brings out both the Merchant and the Enforcer. So we'll be matching square. Okay, so that's going to be a bit of a problem. But anyway, we'll bring the Merchant on the second planet in the trade route to be discovered. So the Merchant will go there. The Enforcer will go on Kemplar 2 as well, and we've got to determine behavior for both of them. So we do System Expanse, then it's NPC turns. Okay, so... Right. Yes. Okay, so end of player turn before NPC turns, so yes. Alright, so similar to what we did when we spawned the Scoundrel, we'll get the cards out here. We'll bring the Dice Tower and Shot. Roll a d6. Odds, evens. Odds gives me this card. And then once again it's flipped over, so upside down side is odd, or upside down side is evens, the right side up is odds. Odds. So we have a collector. A merchant that likes collecting. Target is the buy space on the next trade route planet. Behavior, move to target. If arrived, buy one cargo if possible, and then if 3 cargoes aboard, plus one victor fame point for the NPCs. So I need to keep an eye on that. And anyway, the trade route here, so it's going to be moving along the trade route. So far we've only, if I can ever get these cards to be somewhat dry, we've discovered 2 planets on the trade route, so it's going to be moving between Dorvan 5, Azure, Kemplar 2, Neo-Damascus, and Lunari. And right now, he's going to be, oh boy, that's a problem. Kemplar 2 and Neo-Damascus ended up really close to each other, so we need to be careful about that. The Merchant will be moving 9 spaces, so he's going to be looping back and forth between those 2 spaces every turn. Then we've got to spawn the Enforcer. Once again, odds, evens. There's my d6. Odds, so that card is the one we're using. And once again, right side up is going to be odds, upside down is evens. That is a 1, so we're using odds. Alright, so the Enforcer is a big game hunter. An Enforcer that wants big kills. Target is the Outlaw, if tier 2, player if tied. Behavior, he's going to move to the target, moving 6 spaces, and then attack with a D12 missile, and repeat steps 1 and 2. Yikes. Alright, so everybody's out. And now we will go into, okay, we did System Expanse, which is how Kemplar 2 came out. Anyway, let's go into NPC turns now, and we'll start off with the Merchant. Okay, so remember, the Merchant is trying to get to the buy space on the next trade route, and the NPCs ignore all the shields and all of that. They're just focused on getting their goal as fast as they can. So, the Merchant's going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Get as close as he can, but he can't get there because I'm in the space right there. And that will do it for the Merchant. Both the Enforcer and the both the Enforcer and the Scoundrel stay put because they don't have a target right now. Outlaw if tier 2 plus, except I'm only tier 1, so the Enforcer doesn't come after me. and I'm not innocent anymore, but I've got a bounty on me, so the scoundrel stays put as well. And then we get our victory point roll, so I'll zoom the camera out and tip it for that. We got very unlucky with that first roll. Fortunately, in this case, once again, we're back to being not plus anything. We didn't get any cubes off the board. Add +2 for each 1,000 credits NPCs collected this turn, yada, yada, yada. They're not behind, and the merchant actually doesn't add to the victory point roll, it just gives victory points. So we probably need to try to destroy that merchant as fast as we can. But once again, getting a little ahead of myself. NPCs. That's a 2, so they get no fame from that. That's very fortunate for us. But anyway, that will do it for round 2. With the lucky quirk of fate, the game is now tied going into round 3, so let's jump in to my turn. Being able to sell these 2 cubes of cargo would be probably the highest priority right now, but I do need to be careful about that. The quickest way to do that would be to get to Loath, but that requires me to either traverse around Kemplar 2 or go through the asteroid fields. But anyway, we'll go ahead and arm our first engine marker, and we'll see what the dice decide they're going to do on that. A 3, so not much. Anyway, I think we'll go... Do I just sell the spice and take the 1,000 credits? Because I don't know if... Oh, I also need an exploration marker for Kemplar 2. That would be moderately helpful. And we'll bring that one out curbside up. So now, coming back to our situation with the 3, the only thing we might be able to do is another jump in this direction, which might not be a terrible idea. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Let's make sure I've got the shot here. Yep. And I'm going to match the curve. So here I find the Samara Gate, which I match... So I was matching the curve, which I match here. So I'm jumping there. And I've got more ice fields on here, so similar to how the asteroid fields work, 1 to 10 I take that much damage, but it's also ice damage there. And then 11 to 20 lets me pass through unharmed. I can also quarry in those spaces, where a 1 to 10 take that much ice damage. And I've been skipping over the freeze phase, which reminds me, there's actually supposed to be an exploration token on the grinder. Hey, look at that. We'll bring that one out curbside up. So that's supposed to be over there. That's where I got destroyed earlier in the game. But anyway, now that we've got that straight. So I wasn't able to do much with that movement, but it did bring a gate out. So now I can use Samara Gate to Delta's Gate and get a fame point for being the first player to do that. Anyway, I'll go ahead and arm the engine again. We'll roll the D12 to move there. Bring the dice tower back into shot, where I'm likely doing Planetary Expanse this round. That's a 5, so that's actually going to be just enough movement, I think, to get through the gate. So 1, 2, and I think the gate is going to cost me a movement point, if I recall correctly. It doesn't make sense that it wouldn't. Orders. Should be something in here about gates. Here we go. Ships may move through gates as if they were normal spaces. Also use gates. May spend 1 movement point. I thought so. Okay, so I moved 1, 2, 3 to get over to Delta's Gate, which does give me a fame point. And it'll give us a title at the end of my turn. So that was 3 movement points. And 4, 5. I might have to try to pass through the Planetary Shield again on Loath. That which might be worth the gamble here, but anyway, I'll use my last arming marker to arm the last engine. That's a 10, so we have a lot of movement, which means I might be able to just get around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that'll work. So I can just go around rather than picking up another bounty. So I'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Grab this exploration marker, which I will be able to trade it in for another fame point. So I find nothing, but I can trade, like I said, I can trade in 2 of the markers to get another fame point, and then I'll double back and stop on the sell space. That'll let me sell any cargo for 1,000 credits per cargo, and since I'm selling 2 cubes there, I get 2,000 credits, but more importantly than that, I get yet another fame point, which could be bad because this will give the NPCs a big boost on their roll this turn. But anyway, that's it for my turn. I think there's missiles. I have to be at least 2 spaces away, probably. Let's see if there's something on here. Armed missile on. This isn't telling me anything about the range. Let's see. Ships. Cargo cubes. That's not what I want. Combat. Missiles have a range of 2 to 6 spaces, so I have to be at least 2 spaces away, which means I can't attack the scoundrel, even that might be a little bit tempting. But anyway, that will do it for my turn. Now we'll go into System Expanse, and funnily enough, we'll go here and we'll match the curve. So this time we find our first Vortex. Oop. So the way these work is you can pass through, but you have to roll a d20 similar to before. On a 1 to 10, you lose that much energy. On an 11 to 20, you pass through unharmed. So we'll put the curve right there. And I think you can quarry in those for cyber, I believe. It'll generally say on the space if you can, but let me just take a quick look here. Nebula. Yeah, once you're inside, you may stay, move around, or exit without penalty. So it'll tell you if you're able to do anything special on that space. But anyway, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So that's it for System Expanse. Now let's move into NPC turns, and we'll start with the Merchant. The Merchant is able to get to the buy space on Neo Damascus, but because there's no plasma left to buy, there's nothing to buy, so the Merchant just stays put. Anyway, the Enforcer and the Hunter and the Scoundrel, I think both still stay put, surprisingly. That bounty is actually coming in real handy to keep the Scoundrel in check. It's targeting the player if innocent, and since I'm not innocent, I've got a bounty on me. The Scoundrel stays put, and I'm not tier 2, so the Enforcer isn't coming after me. But now we go into the NPC roll for fame points. So let me zoom out to get the dice tower in shot. This is actually a very imposing dice tower, which I was worried about, but anyway. So this time the NPCs are actually 3 fame points behind, so their roll is their d20 roll here is +6. And at the end of the round, we'll get a new title and a new event as well. So the NPC, and a 19 plus 6 is 25. So the Enforcers just tie the game at 5 fame points. Anyway, we do need a new title for me crossing 3, so our new title is a Viking. Take him out the old-fashioned way. To claim this title, be the first player to destroy another ship by ramming. And once claimed, this title grants you now take -3 damage when ramming another ship. And then our new event is Loyalty. A change in the political winds. While this card is in play, immediately when this card is drawn, roll a d20. 1 to 10, all neutral planets are now considered outlaw. 11 to 20, all neutral planets are now considered lawful. So I think I get another bounty when I enter Loath. I get another 1,000 credits on me for entering Loath. Outfits, bounty, destroying an innocent ship. Cross through a Planetary Shield. Except I didn't have to cross through a shield when I went into Loath. Yeah, Loath I was able to make that work. And I don't think I get another bounty just for entering an outlaw planet, but that will affect us in terms of outlaw an innocent ship that passes through receives a plus 1,000 credit bounty, except I'm not innocent. So actually I can't. Okay, so this will affect me a little bit, because if everything enters lawful, if everything becomes lawful, I will not be able to enter any. I will not be able to enter any planets. So this is a roll where I really want to see a 1 to 10 on a d20. That's a 10, so every planet is considered outlaw. By the skin of my teeth, we got there. So I will put grab another d20 for that. Just so I know that it's considered to be, that all planets are now considered outlaw planets. So yeah, now as soon as I become innocent, moving into any planet will consider me to be will give me a bounty on it right away, but I don't get a further bounty for landing on the planet. But anyway, so that's the end of round 3. Just like that, the game got tied in a hurry. We're into round 4 now, and I really don't have... Oh, I forgot to do my energy phase again, so I get to beat my business phase. So I get to recharge my energy, then I spend 3 to rearm my engine markers. And then that will do it for round 3. Now we're into round 4, and I need to find a plan, probably by exploring some more. Oh, and we need an exploration for Vortex X86. Or Vortex 86. We'll bring that out there. Okay, then we will go ahead and go into round 4. Okay, I misread the event that just came out. So, neutral planets are now considered outlaw, which means I still wouldn't be able to enter Kemplar 2, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself there. At least I wouldn't be able to enter through the entrance of the Planetary Shield. I could still try to pass through. In fact, I should have a bounty on me right now. But anyway, what to do? Right now, I don't think there's much to do short of exploring, so I'll go ahead and arm one of my engine markers to go exploring once again. Bring the dice tower up there. That's another 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 go explore. Well, I could also do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try to pass through the nebula and then continue exploring that way with an exploration token. I could do that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'll have to roll the d20. See how much energy I lose. That would be none because that's a 16. And then 7 gives me the exploration marker. And here I find a space for a mission. So the way these work is I get to draw 3 missions and pick one to go through. So first up I find Coerce, strike fear into their hearts. Someone owes me some coin. I need you to send them a message. The old man in the white jacket confides. You assure him that you're a great communicator. Target second player to your right, and I need to check how these missions work when they target players. So, target players, target the scoundrel, enforcer, merchant NPCs instead. So which then allows the players to treat those NPCs. Okay. Via the scoundrel. Missions that target the second player to the left or right cannot be completed. Such missions require at least 2 of the key NPCs to be in play. When performing the mission objective action, check for the correct NPC target. Draw missions. Okay, so when in range of a target as an action, declare mission and make an attack as normal. Course results based on total damage dealt to the target. 0 to 1, or the target is destroyed, mission fails. 2 to 4, I become a ruffian and 3,000 credits and a 1,000 credit bounty. 5 to 8 gives me a thug, 4,000 credits and a bounty. 9 plus, villain, 5,000 credits and 1,000 credit bounty. And I have to deliver the results to the keep, which the keep is not out yet, so I might end up discarding that. Next up, assist. Starside travel assistance. Gate jumps can often induce starship system failures. Captains call it gate rot. You're on task to assist such a ship. Good luck, Captain. Fly to a mission space in any gate. Gear up, place a number of 1,000 credit coins on this card. X equals 1, 2, or 3. When adjacent, or player on your right. As an action, when adjacent to target, spend X energy. Target may choose 1. Heal X damage, gain X energy, or move up to twice that many spaces. Then you gain all credits on this card and a fame point. And last mission up. Shuttle to transport passengers. A militia squad needs transport to Neo-Damascus. The colony world is increasingly unstable because of the plague. The militia is trying to contain the population and keep the infected from escaping. Pick up passengers at the Delta's gate. Payment determined by the shortest flyable distance from pickup to delivery. 1 to 2 sectors, 2,000 credits. 3 to 4, 3,000 credits. 5 plus, 4,000 credits, and deliver passengers to Neo-Damascus. I'm going to keep the shuttle, which I know is weird for an outlaw, but it's actually a reasonably short mission because Neo-Damascus is only 2 sectors away. And I can probably get there without too many problems, but anyway, I still have 3 movement left from the last roll I made, so I'll spend 1 of it to go here, matching the T. And here we find Neo Vostok. So I'm moving, oh jeez, again? Are you kidding me? So I move right into the path of another comet, which means I'm going to be getting destroyed here in about 10 seconds. But we need an exploration token. We'll bring that one out. Put that there. And then we need a D6 roll to figure out how far the asteroid is moving, because I'm going to move the camera just a little bit here as well, because I'm already getting destroyed. 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It just incinerates me without even blinking, which gets rid of the bounty. That could be a bit of a problem because now that's going to get the scoundrel after me. And now I have to be careful with outlaw if any neutral planets come out, because outlaw planets are considered now to be mission gets discarded as well after I get destroyed, I think. Yes, all active missions are discarded. Okay, so yeah. I at least get to reset my board. So that goes back, energy comes back to full, and then I'll respawn at the start of my turn. Anyway, that just ends my turn on the spot, so we'll go into System Expanse, and I think we're expanding up here by Smuggler's Den, and I'll match the curve. So here I find Farron's Call, which is an anomaly. We need 2 exploration tokens. On a gravity, when I get down here, I roll a d12 and move along the path. On gravity, I roll d6 and move on the path. If I get here, I just get destroyed. So we'll put the curve here. Once again, this table gap is actually proving to be a little bit more annoying than I thought it would, but that's part of the reason why I wanted to come back to this game as a test recording. Anyway, the only NPC who will have a turn right now is the Merchant, because right now there's no target for the Enforcer or the Scoundrel to go after, so let's drop down to the Merchant. So the Merchant, moving 9 spaces, will move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and pick up the 2 spice there. And then because that's only at 3 cargo, and we only have the 2 planets out right now, that's actually kind of a relief. But anyway, now we go into the round end. We don't have any cubes on the board to remove. The NPCs didn't collect the bounty because they didn't destroy my ship. The Comet did. We're tied on fame points, so we get a roll. So we just straight d20 roll. Let me bring the dice tower in shot. That's 1, so no fame points assigned there. But anyway, I'll need the d20 because now I'm going to move back to the board and figure out where I'm spawning, where I'm respawning. Because I end up getting blown out of the sky again. So I roll the d20 and go to the closest spawn point. A 16. Do we have 16 on the board? Because the closest one right now would be 15 up here in the debris field. I don't see 16 on the board, so it looks like 15 with the debris field. Surrounded by debris fields looks to be where I'm going. But anyway, that will do it for round 4. Round 5, the game is somehow still tied. And I still don't particularly have a goal right now, so let's just probably keep exploring in round 5. Start round 5, I'll go ahead and arm my engine. We'll try to do a little bit of exploration up here. Five will let me do a little bit, or do I go after that? Actually, I think I go after that exploration token and then I explore. So 1, 2, 3. I have to be careful here. I've got 2 movement left. I'm taking a bit of a gamble here because a 1 to 3 in the debris field gets me blown up. 4 to 20 means I'm okay. This is on a d20, of course. That's a 5, so I'm just barely okay. But I get the exploration marker. So the exploration marker this time gives me a Terra, so nice. And then I can trade those in for an immediate fame point as well, going up to 6. And I'll get a title at the end of my turn, so there's the Terra going on my hold. I don't think I have anywhere right now where I could sell Terra at Loath, but that's quite a ways away. So I think I'll just move up here and match the circle. So we'll draw the Chasm, which is another anomaly with an outlaw planet. So I'm matching the circle here. And gravity, I will move on the path, except there's not much for me to move on right now. And that's another outlaw planet. Good thing I don't want to be there anyway right now. I'll get the exploration marker, then we'll move on the path. There's a curved marker. There's a marker coming out, goes there. We'll get a D6, and I've still got one movement left, but I'm going to be moving to the end of this path, and I expect to explore out here. Yeah, 3 will get me to the end of that path. And I'll use one of my last 2 movement points to explore here, and we'll match the arrow. So here I find Tafter, which is a dead world, and I was matching the arrow, so I'll put that there. We'll put 3 of these relic tokens out. Got 1, 2, 3. You can see I've got 3 of those. Those will go here, and I can excavate there. Similar to quarrying in other places, I roll a 1 to 10, take that much ice damage, but on 11 to 20, I get 1 of those. So we need an exploration marker. Okay, so that's there. And then I'll move here. And I've got another armed marker, so I'll use that. Bring the D12 into shot, or the dice tower back into shot. Let's see what I roll. I roll a 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could work. So go 1, 2, 3. I'll need to roll a D20 to see if I take any ice damage from entering the ice field. I take 5 ice damage, which I need to be careful on this as well, because freeze is now a thing I'm going to have to be worried about. So 5 ice damage there. I'll put 2 in my empty... Actually, I'll put 1 in the empty space and 2 each on my engine and missile mods, because remember, with the heat sink, I'm +2. But I do get the exploration token, which... Okay, I don't have another one yet. So I don't get to just trade that in. Oh, we should have gotten a title at the end of last round. Silly me. So here we find Daredevil, Nerves of Steel, and a Steady Hand. To claim the title, be the first player to, without using shields, fly through 3 asteroid spaces in 1 turn and survive. Once claimed, this title grants you no longer have to roll against yourself when entering asteroid spaces. Okay, so I think I was getting ready to reveal this. I find another fame point, so I'm up to 7, which will get a title out at the, which will get me a title at the end of the round. And then 4, 5 back to excavate, which I will then do as a minor action. So I have to roll the D20 there. 1 to 10, I take that much ice damage. This is actually a bit risky, because if I fill my ship up, then my ship gets blown up. But on 11 to 20, I get one of those relic tokens. That's an 11, so I just barely get one of these relic tokens. I'm pretty sure I can only do this once per round, or once per turn. Oh, as an action I can... Oh no, cargo tokens take up to 2 spaces in my hold. So that was actually a dumb idea. I didn't remember that. I will actually rewind that back. So I have to get back to the kiln and sift those. So pretend that sifting didn't happen. Anyway, I'll arm the engine for the last time. This roll is +2. Six plus 2 is 8. So what do we want to do here? Okay, I forgot to get the 2 exploration markers for the Farron's Call. bring them out curved up and curved up. So those are the two. We'll put one there, and then I'm 10 movement points. So right. Well, I'm doing system expanse down here. So actually, I could do system expanse here or here. Do I just work my way back to... I don't think I'm getting through that chasm anyway, so I think I just continue exploring in this direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll match the T out there, so I find the brink, which is an anomaly. We'll get an exploration marker there. Curved side up. And then that is an anomaly, so I'll have to risk passing through that. I'll move into there because I've still got plenty of movement left. Let's see, that was from Tafger, so I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 will roll for the anomaly, and I still have 4 movement left, so D20. Actually, I think system expanse is going to be happening here this turn. Alright, 15 lets me pass through okay. So I'll pick this exploration marker up, and I'll be trading this in for a victory point immediately, along with the other one, so I find nothing, but I do get the aforementioned fame point, so I go up to 8. I will be getting another event this turn. And then with 4 movement left, I'll go 1, 2, explore, match the line. So here we find... I still have not found anywhere to sell this Terra. Azure, which is a place where I could sell it. But I've got to remember that... So the line goes there. I do have to remember, though, that... those 2... Actually, that is a place I can sell Terra. Never mind. I won't be able to get there this turn, but... Which Azure actually is a new planet on the trade route, so that is actually very helpful for me. And then an exploration marker, which will come that side out and go there. And then I've got 2 moves left where I can get to Azure. Anyway, now that I'm on a planet, I can actually do my business phase. So for my business phase, I get to recharge my energy for free, which I did that. I can repair ice damage for free, which I will gladly do that. Just to get that off the ship, because I'm not in danger of being destroyed. Even though that turns off my special ability, but I don't mind that here. I'm not going to buy any of my outfits. Don't need to rearrange my cargo hold. And I can't purchase the final fame point, but I'm at 8 right now. Even though the AI roll is actually +6. And I think that is all I want to do in my business phase. So now we go into the status phase, where I got rid of my freeze damage, so I don't have to worry about that. Claim fame, so we do get a new event out, we find. Mob rule. While this pay up or else. While this card is in play, after the player on the kiln takes a sell or sift action, that player must pay 1,000 credits and put it on this card, or take 1d12 unblockable damage. This card leaves play when there's 5,000 credits on this card. Right, so, and then I will also spend 3 energy. I forgot about that in my status phase. Or in my status phase to rearm my markers. So, claim fame, draw titles and events, refresh demand, add 1,000 credits to each resource on economy board that's empty. I have not been doing that. So this plasma, so Spice should have had 1,000 credits on it. Plasma probably should have had 3,000 credits on it, but Getting a little bit ahead of myself on that. Our markers, which we did that. So now we go into system expanse, and like I said, we're expanding right here, and I'll match the T. So now we find Blench, which is another ice asteroid. I'll put that there. And we get our last comet. I'm surprised we have not found Zaya yet. I'm not going to complain about that, mind you, but... Okay, so we get that exploration marker here. And then we go into NPC turns, and we'll start with the Merchant. The Merchant is able to get back to the buy space on Neo Damascus, but because there's no plasma to buy, what would happen there, I wonder? Oh, my planetary bounty increases by 1,000 credits, so I didn't remember that, but anyway. So there's no plasma there to buy. So anyway, that will do it for the Merchant. The Enforcer still stays put because there's no outlaw to go after, but the Scoundrel actually will move this turn, so we'll move down. Actually, we have the Scoundrel in shop. So the Scoundrel, we said, was moving 6 spaces. Behavior on there is moving to the target. If it's in range, attack, then move to Loath. If not, move to target again. So the Scoundrel actually moves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't attack, obviously. Actually, 6, I believe. Yeah, so then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still can't attack. So the Scoundrel is definitely coming for me. But anyway, getting a little bit ahead of myself there. So we'll zoom out. Scoundrel is way up here. I'm even further up over here. Then we need the roll for fame points. The NPCs are 3 points behind, so their roll is +6. And I should be looking to try to close this game out as fast as I can. They roll a 2, +3 is 5, which gives them... I believe that does... Okay, 5 does give them a fame point, so I'm still 2 ahead of them, but getting ahead of myself there. Round 6, and like I said, my goal now is just try to close this game out as fast as I can. So I'm going to be probably spending a little bit of time on Azure, so let's go into round 6. My plan here is basically going to be to try to buy Hollow and then run the Gauntlet. Buy 2 Hollow. There's plenty up there. I plan on running the Gauntlet to either Loath or Kemplar 2 to sell it and win the game, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. First action will be to arm the engine. So we'll roll a d12, and I'll see what I want to start with. With a roll of at least a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can either get to selling the Terra or buy the Hollow, but we'll see which one I need. So we need the Dice Tower in shot. An 8 will do that nicely. So 1, 2, 3 to get the exploration marker, and here we find a cyber, so that might change my plans just a little bit, but probably not too much. So that's a purple cube. Okay, so I think after finding that cyber, I want to get my Terra off the ship first. So I'll stop there and then I'll sell, which will give me 1,000 credits. Then we'll arm, and remember, selling does give up the rest of the movement. Then we'll arm again. And here I just need a roll of at least a 2. A 4, so I don't waste as much movement, but I'll go get the aforementioned 2 Hollow for 1,000 credits, which is over here. And now now it looks like we're getting ready to run the Gauntlet. So now we're going to have to arm the Raptor K engine, arm the engine to move again. Going after this scoundrel might not be a completely terrible idea. A 9, though. I wonder if we just explore and try to find somewhere else to sell all this stuff. That might be worth a gamble. But of course, Zaya also has not come up yet, so... Either way, we're going to have to run the gauntlet, so... Yeah, I think we're just going to keep exploring, see if I can find somewhere I can sell... See if I can find somewhere... Because the scoundrel's defending with a... The scoundrel's only defending with a d6 shield, but I need 10 damage to kill him. I think we're better off just trying to run... I think we're just better off trying to kind of go around and run the gauntlet a little bit. So, we'll go 1, 2, 3... 4 blind jumping here, matching the T. So here we find... Dwarven 5, which might be somewhat helpful. So we put that there. This might actually... We might actually be able to win the game on the next turn, but I'm getting ahead of myself there. Need an exploration token. Which that is. That's 3, 4 to pick that up. And I find... another 1,000 credits, which will let me trade in the... So let me trade in 2 more whatchalls to get 9 fame points, and I'll get a title at the end of the turn. Then I'll try to pass through the Planetary Shield for 5. We'll bring the Dice Tower in shot. Should be able to get it there, because the plan here is to pass through that Planetary Shield. A 6 means I don't pass through the shield, and I take... Do I just take that much damage? I think so. Yeah, so I take 6 damage, and I lose the movement point, so... 2, 4, 6. Okay. So there's the 6 damage going on my ship, and I'm going to end up jettisoning... Actually, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to jettison the Cyber? Yes, because I'm planning on using the Hollow to win the game if I have to. So yeah, I'll have to jettison the Cyber. Then we'll try again to pass through. I know I'm taking a bit of a risk here. Actually, now that I don't need this, now that I don't have the Cyber anymore, I think a better plan is probably just to go around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to end up just short of the Planetary Shield. And then that will do it for my turn. I'll spend 3 energy to rearm my engine markers. And then we'll move into the NPC. Actually, we'll do System Expanse first, and we'll be expanding up over... Yeah, it'll be over... I'll move the camera slightly so you can see where I'm expanding. Right here, we're going to match the arrow. So here we find... Tigris Gate. Use Tigris. 1 to 19, place on closest rolled spawn. 20, choose any spawn. But actually, because of one of our events, Tigris Gate is now connected to the other gates and may move freely between it. So never mind that. I'll match it there. Okay, so that's System Expanse. So we'll go into the NPC turns, and we'll start with the Merchant. The Merchant is still moving 9 spaces, but now its destination is no longer... From Neo-Damascus, its destination is not Kemplar 2. Its destination is Azure. So we'll move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ignores all of that. Then the Enforcer doesn't move because I'm not an outlaw. The Scoundrel, however, does. So let's move up to him. Alright, so the Scoundrel is going to be moving, what did we say, 6 spaces? Yes. So the Scoundrel is actually moving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Tries to attack, can't because the blaster's not in range. And then moves up to 2. And if not, move to target again. So actually it doesn't attack. So 1, 2 to get to me. But again, it doesn't attack because it only attacks on step 2A. Anyway, that will do it for NPC turns. Now we need to get a victory roll. We take a cargo off the board. We take the cyber off the board that I had to jettison from getting attacked. So that comes off the board, and the NPCs now, each cube removed in step 1. So now the NPC roll is +8 because they're 3 points behind. So +8 has a chance to win the game. If the NPCs roll at least an 18 on this roll, they win the game. Because that would give them, actually, they would need 4, yeah. They would need 4 victory points to do that, and the roll is +8. So an 18 just ends the game. At least an 18 ends the game. That's a 10 + 8 is 18, which gives them 2 fame. So we're neck and neck. I need to close this game out as fast as I can. To the point I may have to make a few dangerous plays, but anyway. That will do it for round 6. Round 7 means I'm basically racing this next AI roll. So let's get into it. My 2 spaces where I can sell hollow right now are all the way down here. Closest one's going to be Kemplar 2, but I'm going to have to run a serious gauntlet to get there. So 1, 2, 3, 4... Actually... I wonder if I can voluntarily jettison cargo. Because a better plan might just be to buy 2 Terra and then loop back around. I probably can just jettison cargo. Yeah, I can take a minor action to jettison cargo. So, yeah, that's a minor action. Which, I think we established that minor actions don't interrupt movement. Minor actions, okay, minor actions don't end movement. So, actually the new plan here might be to just take a risk here because I can actually, yeah, let's do that. So I'm going to arm my engine marker. And then, but my roll right now is +2 because I've got 2 damage on my engine. So right now I'm guaranteed 3, which means I'm guaranteed to get to that by Terra space. That's a 12 though, so that's kind of a waste, but I can deal with it. So I'm going to jettison my 2 hollow, which is spotting the NPCs a +4, but if this works, it won't matter. So I'll jettison that, spend 1,000 credits to buy 2 Terra. Then I'll arm the engine again. I might be trying to pass through the Planetary Shield here, again, at a bit of a risk to myself, I know, but unless I get a big enough roll here. Remember, I'm +2 as well, so 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably gets me there. And then if I roll at least a 5, which I'm, again, +2, I can sell the 2 Terra, get 1,000 credits, and get the last fame to win the game. So we'll do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we'll arm the engine one last time. And this roll needs to be at least a 3, because once again, being +2 means I can get to the sell Terra space. I think I'm... Yep. I was... Come on. There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Alright, so again, this roll needs to be at least a 3 so I can get to the cell Terra space on Azure. Unless I want to play with trying to get through the Planetary Shield, which, with as much damage as I've got on me right now, seems like a bad plan. That's an 8, so that'll get me there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I'll take the aforementioned sell action, which I'll sell 2 Terra for 2,000 credits, which will bring me up to 5,000 credits, but more importantly, it will bring me up to 10 fame, and it will let me win the game. So I win another bit of a nail-biter by this. Well, this time was a score of 10 to 8, and I know I took a risk up here by jettisoning 2 hollow, spotting the AI plus 4 on their roll. And I would have actually ended up with 2,000 credits of bounty for entering both planets. So yeah, because of the event of loyalty. So yeah, the enforcer would have moved to me at the time, but now he wouldn't have. So anyway, we got away with one there, so now let's move back up top to wrap this video up. So the poor swamp rat got battered in this game, but in the end, she got there. So we'll start with a little bit of cleanup here, but we also are going to have flavor text with the victory. So once I get this all picked up, we'll take a look at that. That can come off. That will go back there. That will go in here. Oop. And the victory story. Your fame has eclipsed all others in the galaxy. When you have passed on from this universe, you will be remembered for your exploits, written down and passed on to the next generation in the form of a pop-up book. Anyway, that will do it for this playthrough of Xayah, Legends of a Drift System. I briefly mentioned stepping into this as a background campaign, but after further research, this looks like a very convoluted campaign experience, so I'm probably not going to step into this as a background campaign. I might use this as a once-per-year attraction on the channel, but I don't see this as a background campaign on the channel. Plus, that table gap was actually a little more cumbersome than I thought it would be. It might be the tablecloths, but I'll have to keep an eye on that for future games, because this will be my group table setup, but I'm getting a little bit off topic there. Anyway, as far as making this a background campaign on the channel, I'm open to convincing about that, along with the usual technical feedback and rules mistakes, since I'm still playing with the space, in the comments down below. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. Next week, we're going to step back into the Cthulhu mythos for a new campaign, but it's not time yet to step back into Arkham Horror, the card game. However, we are stepping into the Arkham Horror files for what I like to call the Summer of Lovecraft. What, you might be asking, is the Summer of Lovecraft? I'll have the intro for that campaign later this week, and next week will be the first leg of that campaign as we play Eldritch Horror. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.